bit here. I think we're going to keep it.
Look at you staying in your chair. Some of your friends here, bud. Everybody? Yeah, that's a lot of names. Hey guys, thanks so much for making Owen feel so welcome while he was here. As I'm sure you can imagine, it's tough to travel around and have to change schools often, and it's a lot easier when you've got great friends to make you feel welcome. So thanks so much for that. I appreciate that, and I'm sure Owen appreciates it. Right, bud?
And can we say welcome home, Major Salotti?
Welcome home!
Major Salotti.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
He doesn't know what to do with himself. He's lost for words for once. I thought we would hear this big screech. Everybody's crying.
Yeah, would you guys, do you want to read, would you like to read a book, or, I mean, if you want to ask any questions or anything about what I do, or what we've been doing for the past 5 months, maybe that's I am here. I'm a sequel to the other side, which I don't know if you know what that looks like. They used to fly them out of Willow Grove. They were here for years and years. We do something that's called tactical airlift. So we do a lot of airdrop, where we drop food and bullets and all sorts of stuff out of the back of the airplane. We also land in a lot of areas that are not often so nice. We can land on dirt. We've got variants of the airplane that can land on snow, and just all sorts of stuff. So it's an airplane that they do a lot of different things with. I don't know that they've actually tried to land a C-130 on water. They have landed one on a aircraft carrier, though, which is pretty impressive for such a large airplane. But I bet they could. High wing, you could probably put floats on that thing and land it. What's that?
I know somebody, like my neighbor, he survived for the whole army.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
What are some things you put in your plane that are pretty impressive? A great big...
We can do lots of things. We sent some pictures to Owen. I don't know if he was able to share any of those. We can do trucks, and we do large rocket systems. Small helicopters can fit in there as well. Mostly what we were moving on this last deployment was people, lots of Army troops and such. We moved lots of large rockets that they use for various things. And just a lot of different, it's one of those airplanes where you walk out and never know quite what's going to end up in the back.
Are you good at flying yet?
I like to think so. There's a joke that they say, how do you know that someone's a pilot? Don't worry, they'll tell you. We tend to be very, very passionate about what we do, and it does take a degree of sometimes overconfidence, you could say, depending on who you would ask. I'd like to think that I am. I'm an instructor, which means I get to teach other people how to fly, which is a great opportunity to take people who anytime you can help share a skill, it's the best way to improve your own skills as well. So when you can teach, as I'm sure your teacher would attest to, before she teaches you guys something, sometimes she needs to go back and review and say, oh yeah, what are these tricks that I use to learn? Same thing with flying. Every time I go out and have to teach something or someone something new, I need to go back and review it and make sure that I really do know exactly what I'm talking about. So I try to be. Yeah?
When did you want to be in the Air Force?
We actually just had this conversation in the other room. We'll stick with the pilot aspect for just a second. When I was in 5th grade, I did a hobby hunt. And we were instructed to go out and pick something that you enjoy doing or what you could like to see as your hobby. And I picked flying. And I actually went across the street, to Mr. Kunda's house, and I interviewed him, and I got to crawl around and take pictures of his airplanes and kind of see what was going on inside of them. And that's kind of what I pegged as when I first really wanted to be a pilot.
I live right behind this school, and my mom knows Mr. Cooper.
Oh, very cool. So I bet you see them fly in and out of there quite often.
Sometimes I see, like in the summer, sometimes I see this plane flying over.
Nice. That's the dream, being able to land a plane in your backyard. Just my dream. Well, that's his backyard. Oh, my airplane? You would be surprised in what we can land our airplane in. I probably could land it in Mr. Kunda's backyard, because that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to go into unimproved airstrips that other planes can't get into, so that we can then kind of develop the field and help build larger fields, which we spent a lot of time doing on this last deployment.
What's your gun?
Our airplane is not armed. We don't have offensive weapons on there, so we don't have guns that are necessarily designed to shoot. We do have defensive capabilities, so that if someone does shoot at us, we can help protect our airplane. But we're not an offensive weapon. We're not designed to go out and drop bombs, anything like that.
Bob died.
Did you have something?
What's the biggest thing that did that you're
All right, let's see. What's the biggest thing? That's kind of an interesting question, because when you're talking about big, you can either be talking about large, something that's really just big, or something that's just really heavy. You know, sometimes a smaller thing can be heavier than a bigger thing. So in terms of size, just let's see, trucks. I mean, we fit certain trucks in there. That's probably pretty large. We can airdrop anything under 40,000 pounds, so which is huge. I mean, that can be a lot of weight. And that we can attach parachutes to, and you open the ramp and door while we're flying, and it's got a button that you push, and the thing rolls out of the back and parachutes down. So 40,000 pounds is a lot of stuff. But we could fit all of your cars in there. Like, what kind of, do you have a big car at home? Do you have a van or a truck or anything like that? I'm sure we could fit a couple of those in the back of our airplane. What does the airplane look like? I may have a picture that I can pull out. We'll see. In a few minutes, I'll see if I can track one down of it.
It's Swedish brown egg, kind of a mix of those, I guess.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, typically they're green to gray. They've got 4 engines on the wings, and they've got propellers on the engines. So it's a 4-engine turboprop airplane. Our takeoff weight's about 155,000 pounds, so it's pretty heavy. Do you have any questions? What's your name? Very nice to meet you. I like your shirt.
Once I was very scared because I saw a lot of army helicopters flying, and there's cop ones right behind.
Oh wow, were they flying together? Like more? Yeah. That's called formation flying, and we do a lot of that.
And I saw one carrying its head.
Oh wow, very cool. That must have been a big helicopter.
And another time I was riding in my friend's car, and I saw a tank and a Humvee.
Oh wow, very cool. Yeah, we carry both of those things. Yeah.
Have you ever carried a bunch of seals in the back of the helicopter?
Are you talking SEALs the animal or SEALs the Navy Special Operations?
Yeah.
Which one? The Navy. Yes, I have. We've done quite a bit of that. We go to North Carolina, and then we also go down to Key West, and we do drops for those guys, where you fly out over the water, and they've got their boats, and they push the boats out, and then they jump out of the airplane following the boats and parachute down. Yeah, it's a lot of work. Those guys it's a very impressive force, and they work really, really hard to be really good at what they do. And those guys are very good at what they do. So, and I've worked with them both in training, as I said, and then also operationally over in the desert as well, delivering them to small fields out and about in the various places. Yeah.
Can you carry people or animals?
We carry people, and what we also see in terms of animals is we do see service dogs a lot. So either Army, the German Shepherds, the bomb sniffing dogs, or the police dogs. Yeah, we carry those guys quite often. And in past conflicts, we've actually carried like donkeys and things like that, because in certain areas like Afghanistan where you've got big mountains, sometimes the easiest way to travel is with donkeys. So they would take those out and they would either land and give those to the forces that were fighting there, or they would even try to airdrop them from time to time. So I know, push a donkey out of the back of an airplane, and parachutes down and lands, and then they hop on in front of the donkey. Yeah. Yes, you do. Yes.
I know it's the dogs that step out the box. What seems movie called
Oh, okay.
about the dogs.
Nice.
The dog that's in the military.
Yeah.
He like stepped out that bomb in the military.
Oh, wow.
His owner died.
Oh.
Because
He was so mad.
Actually wasn't on. He actually wasn't on the military side. He was like basically a spy.
Oh, okay.
And he was like pretending he was on the army
Yeah.
side.
Okay.
And he was the one who.
We didn't carry Max, but we carried dogs similar, I'm sure. So, all right, anything else real quick? Yes.
What was the biggest thing you've ever gotten out of your plan?
Again, I've dropped all of those things that we talked about. I've dropped Humvees, which he mentioned, which is just a large Army truck. I've dropped training bundles that are right at that 40,000-pound limit. Because from time to time you have to take the airplane out. You have to test, just like you guys have to practice stuff for school. We have to do the same thing. You don't want to go out and actually do it for real without being very comfortable. So we travel around the country and we go to places like Arizona, and they've got large ranges out there that we can drop training bundles and yeah. So I've dropped 40,000-pound loads and all that stuff. You name it, we can push it out of the back of the C-130.
My dad made airplanes, same kind of airplane fly.
Oh, really? Like he made it like a model, or he actually worked
He worked
for Lockheed? Oh, nice. Very cool. Yes.
My grandpa loves making models, and I have a couple of like actual like army plane models.
Oh, very neat.
One's like one's of like things where they can land on the water,
Oh, awesome.
and like
My dad likes to make models too. He's on the train side more than the flying side.
that's like my grandpa.
Very nice. Yes. We'll probably do two more, I think, and then we might have to let you get back to what you guys are doing. I want to keep you all there.
Can you take what was the heaviest thing that you like to throw get in the
Yeah, kind of as we talked over here, trucks and vehicles, and usually the heaviest thing that we carry are probably rocket systems, I would say, because they tend to be, they're really heavy, but they're not super big, so you can fit a lot of them in there. So again, you get into the whole weight versus size debate. It's not necessarily what you can lift, more what you can fit, is usually the truth. All right, let's see if anyone else had one before. Okay.
I had a army helicopter, but sometimes those can kill money.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you got to be careful with that. Oh, nice. Thankfully, our airplanes are a little more rugged than your model, so they don't break quite as easily. So that's good. But, yes, all right, a little more.
Very sad because a lot of people die.
They do. It's, I mean, the nature of the conflict, thankfully, we're in a conflict right now where we're providing more advising role. So we're helping the Iraqis and people who live in the region to kind of go forward and actually engage in the conflict. So this has been good. We're kind of getting a role that we're more comfortable with, helping to train and prepare others to go and fight for their homeland, which is great. So, but it is part of the deal. So, well, guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for all you've done for Owen. Again, it is really tough to go into a different school, not knowing anyone, and you guys have really made this easy. We Skype at least every other day and get the opportunity to chat, and I hear on a daily basis just little things about you guys and how much fun he's having being a part of your class. So thank you very much, and I'm sure Owen would say the same thing. He's going to miss you guys, but we'll stay in touch. We'll send you some letters and keep you updated via email as far as what's he doing and how he's doing in Montana. Okay?
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Salotti.